If you want the designer tricks to creating a magazine-ready home, then stick with me because I'm going to share a home tour of a condo that I did that was published in Style at Home magazine. One, or where we started in this condo, is really with the main living area. It had an open concept plan, so the main living area really dictated the rest of the condo. A good starting point is the rug. So I chose a rug that had lots of creams and grays and a little bit of blues, and that was really the jumping off point then in choosing the other things like the couch and the blue chairs and the wood coffee table. Tip number 2 in creating this condo, and that I hope helps you, is really working within the color palette. So as I said, we got the color palette jumping off points from the carpet, but from there you want to choose a couple accent colors. And so what we did was blue was an accent color, which we used in the chairs, the blue velvet chairs. And then we had pops of yellow and gold. And we used the yellow in really fun pillows on the couch. And then to repeat that, we brought gold throughout the room in the side tables and accents. Tip number 3 in creating this condo is you really got to think of the visual space. And what I mean by that is because this living and dining room were open to each other, they really had to flow. So how do you make it flow? Well, color is probably one of the biggest things you can do. So again, we carried over the white, the gold, and then also when thinking of visual space, we didn't want to take up too much visual space because it was a small area. So we did things like put a round dining table, and then the chairs are clear. So it takes up no visual space to the eye at all and flows with the rest of the room. Tip number 4 I want to share with you what we did with this condo is about filling in dead walls. What I mean by this is that the wall that we had that was directly beside the dining room that went into the second bedroom just kind of had nothing going on. And so if it has nothing going on, I say make something going on. So what we did here is we put a console table, we then put a beautiful mirror on top, and we added baskets underneath that provided great storage and also add a really nice texture as well. Tip number 5 in this condo is keep the color flowing, particularly in the kitchen. Now, the kitchen wasn't open to the rest of the space, but being a condo, it's pretty darn close. So we added little touches of the colors we used in the space to the kitchen as well. So we added a piece of art, we added cooking utensils, we added a pot in the yellow just to create that flow. So don't forget about your kitchen, you can still add your color palette there. So tip number 6 in this condo is I want to touch on the bedroom. So one of the biggest designer tricks, and I've talked about it in this video already, but I want to repeat it again, is creating flow throughout a space. The easiest way to do that is with color. So again, we brought in the yellows and the grays and the whites and the golds into that bedroom. Another thing we did with the bedroom is we put wallpaper. One of my favorite things to do behind a headboard is to put wallpaper. It really adds a focal point. Another little trick to point out is that it was a small bedroom, so using things such as mirrored side tables or glass lamps really reflects light and doesn't take up that visual space. So I hope you enjoyed this home tour. It was a fun condo to decorate. It really had lots of vibrancy and playfulness to it. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you're inspired by any of the items, I created a little design board for you with some links of either the exact items or ones that are similar, and you can link to it below. If you like this video, I'd love it if you could like it, make sure to subscribe, and to share it with your family and friends. And if you're not already part of my subscriber community, make sure to hop on over to karladreyerdesign.com because I do send out a weekly email with design tips and tricks and DIYs and things that I only share with my subscribers. So I'll see you there.